Living passionately, if you're taking any notes, write these 4 things down. Living passionately means working diligently. Living passionately means thinking creatively. Living passionately means learning consistently. And living passionately means acting wisely. Now let me talk just briefly about these 4 things. 1, living passionately means working diligently. Now I've already kind of talked about that, haven't I? If you really want to put some passion in your day, you got to bring your best self. It is you bringing your best self to your work that makes passion flow in your work. If you're not passionate about your work, it's because you're holding back. You're holding in. You won't give yourself away. 2, living passionately means thinking creatively. See, it's hard to be passionate and bored at the same time. If I'm bored, it's because I'm not putting any new ideas into the system. And it's the same old boring thoughts over and over again. If I want to live passionately, I have to get some new thoughts in there. I got to shake them around a little bit so they bang into some other ideas. And when the new thought and the old ideas bang together, I have a creative moment, and that creative moment pours passion into what I'm doing. Or same old problems, trying to solve them in the same old ways. 3, living passionately means learning consistently. You know, learning stuff makes you more passionate about living. You learn something and you go, I want to give that a try. Learning gives you the opportunity to be challenged, and challenge is what calls out our passions. It also means acting wisely. Some of the greatest regrets we have because our values were tested by something, and we gave in to the testing instead of acting wisely and living by our values. Okay, don't you know that's true? Some of my biggest regrets in life are when I chose to succumb to the temptation and didn't live up to my values. I regret that. Verse 10 again. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. For there is no work or thought or knowledge or wisdom in the grave to which you're going. Sheol is the Hebrew word for grave. Nobody works from a casket. It's what the Bible says. Our souls, our bodies sleep in waiting the resurrection, but our souls go to be with God. Absent from the body, present with the Lord. You see? Nobody works in the graveyard because they're not there. Their souls have already gone to be with the Lord. All right. We live passionately by thinking and growing wise. A church, I am absolutely radically committed to having experiences in our congregation that help you grow. About 10 years ago, I started taking all our elders and our staff to the Willow Creek Leadership Summit. And the summit is done live in Chicago. And then it is a simulcast in 60 cities around America. 60,000 people in North America will attend the summit this year, either in Chicago or in one of these satellite sites. And about 10 years ago, I started taking the staff and elders, and we would go to Pittsburgh because it was the closest place. And then the chapel started doing it, so the staff and elders and I went to the chapel in Akron. And then they stopped doing it, and last year we had to drive over to Toledo. It was the closest place. For 5 years, Willow Creek has been trying to find somebody in Cleveland to host it, and they came and talked to us, and we're going to host it this year. Now, please listen. This is why we're hosting it, because I want you, for these 2 days, to hear some of the best leaders in America. I want more than 25 staff and elders learning this stuff. I want everybody in this church to have the opportunity to listen to some of the best leaders in America talk about leading passionately and being effective. Now, I know what some of you are saying. Well, Doc, I'm not a leader. Everybody is a leader. You are either a good leader or a bad leader, but you are a leader. Everybody here influences somebody. And you influence them in a positive, enriching way, or you're a tyrant, or you're checked out. I am passionate about our church having the opportunity to learn things that literally will change your life. And that's why we're having the Leadership Summit here this year. I'd like you to see a highlight of what the summit is like.
Normal we all knew and loved has left the building. And whether we like it or not, we are all leading in a new reality.
Are you changing as fast as the world around you? Sadly, there's a lot of evidence that many Christian institutions are on the back foot.
I think the very best way to create big change is to have the patience and the attention to really focus in on one particular person or one particular community and serve them as well as you can.
God has called us to not be people that huddle, but those that break and go and play the game.
The best discipleship happens with life on life. It can't be programmed through 5 classes.
We need to get people thinking, what is the impact of our compassion? How do we affect change at the same time retaining the dignity to those we're showing our compassion?
We have worth, brothers and sisters, because of who gives us worth, not because of what we do.
You always hear this quote, hey, team, failure is not an option here. That's ridiculous. In a time of change, failure is a necessity.
If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
God's looking for women and men who are full on for Him. He's looking for people who have abandoned their own program and are just looking for how they can use their unique talents and abilities to further God's activities and programs in this world. These are the people that God will tap on the shoulder and say, come with me, we're going to do something great in your lifetime, in our day. We're going to do this together.
Did you hear David Gergen? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I want to go far, and that's why I'm asking you to carve out these 2 days in August, and let's learn this, and let's go far together. Let's really get to be the kind of church that that generations to come will look back at us and say, how did those people ever get all of that done? Do you hear this, church?